both ran off a mountain. I ended up getting a life-threatening disease, and we actually made more money back than we spent on this trip. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Ella and I'm a fully certified independent travel agent. In the last 2 years I've 100% prioritised travel. I've squeezed as many little trips into my little life as possible, and now a lot of people are asking me about where have I been and where's the best places I'd recommend for them. Obviously people come to me going, I just want to go anywhere, I've just got this amount of time, where would you recommend? I've seen this on your Instagram, how much was this hotel, how much was this excursion, how would you afford it? I'm not a millionaire, I promise you. So I've come up with the idea of starting this YouTube channel, which is a little bit scary, but I'm going to go in depth about my itineraries, where I went, my costs along the way, my mistakes along the way, because there's definitely a few of them you can learn from me. In future trips I am going to record them. Back in April, me and Dylan went to Turkey for 4 days, and it was quite memorable. We both ran off a mountain. I ended up getting a life-threatening disease, and we actually made more money back than we spent on this trip. So we flew into Dalaman Airport with EasyJet from Manchester. The flights did cost us £232 per person, which is a little bit more than we usually spend on our little cheap getaways, but it was his birthday and this resort we're going to is a family favourite of mine. Once we got off the plane, we headed to find our transfer. I'd booked it on holiday taxis. It was a really good price at the time, £55 return for a private car, and we were going all the way to the resort of Oludeniz, so it is quite a way and we didn't want to be faffing with buses. This was the best option for us. I also booked our hotel separately because I got an amazing price for an all-inclusive on the edge of the Blue Lagoon. It was £136 each for the 4 nights. The hotel we stayed at was called Hotel Meri, and I definitely would recommend it. We did book the deluxe room because it was Dylan's birthday, so why not? Any excuse. Oludeniz is a very beautiful Turkish resort on the southern western coast of Turkey. We were there in April, so it was the shoulder season. Quite quiet in summer. It does get quite rowdy there now. I personally wouldn't choose to go in summer anymore because I do love it just for its beauty. To go in the shoulder seasons is definitely what I would prefer, but obviously completely up to you what holiday you're after. After our lunch, we went through with a promise that we had made to each other. We went and booked our paragliding flight for the next morning with Gravity. I would 100% recommend them. If you're ever thinking of taking a paragliding flight in Oludeniz, definitely check Gravity out. They were amazing. Our flight cost us £80 each. You go with a trained pilot, you get your insurance, you get your entry fees, so it's really not a bad price. If you do want the best prices, I would recommend going in the shoulder seasons because they will give you a better price because there's less people wanting to jump. So on the 20th, it was the day of our flight. We then signed our life away with the waivers, and then we headed in the bus up the mountain. Honestly, those drivers of those minibuses don't care. You're literally hanging off a mountain. The roads aren't the best. It's like rubble. And there's just no barriers. But Turkey, we love you. We don't mind. Once you get to the top, you'll be paired with your pilot, and they will set up on the runway. And basically, all they tell you to do is run. Like, didn't tell me anything else. Now, Oludeniz is known worldwide for paragliding. You jump off Mount Babadag and you get the views of the famous Blue Lagoon on your way down and the whole coast. It is beautiful, and then you land on Oludeniz beach. And honestly, from a person who was feeling sick to do it and hated heights, I wanted to go again straight away. So if you're debating it, I would 100% recommend to do it, to try it. I know it's a big thing to try, because once you've tried it, you've done it. If you are a bit scared like me, I would recommend, if you're going to book it for as soon as possible so you have less time to debate it, because if I had booked it for the end of my trip, I was 100% gonna chicken out. If you did hate it, they can bring you down quicker. If you're loving it, they can be pricks. Now I decided to do from 12. Yeah, I loved it. Definitely loved it. It's been my head off. Once you land, you'll go back to the Gravity office and they will give you an option to download the footage. Now, it was £10 extra each, but for what you've just done, £10 to get the footage and the evidence that you've done it, because I don't think my mum would believe it if she didn't see it, is worth it. So the next day we decided to adventure out to Saklikent, which is a national park a few hours away from Oludeniz. Saklikent is Europe's deepest gorge, so it's definitely something if you're into your adventure, and it costs under £1 to get in as well, so it's super affordable. You can go to Saklikent on a tour, but because we're going on the shoulder season, we decided to venture out and do it ourselves. So the first step was to get a dolmuş, which is a local bus in Turkey from Oludeniz to Fethiye, which is the town, and then we waited at the Fethiye bus stop for a bus to Saklikent. One way, I think it costs us about £4 each, which is incredibly cheap to go all that way. We decided to go for it without a guide. Like, there are guides there. If you do want a guide, I would probably recommend a guide. But we had no cash with us, like genuinely we couldn't afford it. So all our cash was at the hotel because we knew we were going in water, so we only brought a card. Anyway, the water was quite high, it was quite strong. We did struggle straight away.
Oh. Oh.
The guide came running after us.
That guy's running to us. The guy's running to us.
He did help us out quite a way.
Dylan.
Probably walked for about half an hour, but there is a waterfall you can get to. We didn't get there because it started to get really, really deep. And little me with deep water, I would have been gone. So we decided to turn back.
The mountain heights 500 meters in winter and then hike the river.
A lot of places these days you can drive to. You can drive to the viewpoint, but this you genuinely have to adventure in. You have to walk through the gorge to see the sights, so I just love stuff like that. We then obviously dried off in the sun and then headed back on the buses. Which I'm not going to lie, I know it's a long bus journey, but I quite like bus journeys in somewhere new because you get to see so much that you wouldn't see anyway. So the next day was Dylan's birthday and I decided to book a private speedboat for 2 hours. It cost £66, which is an amazing deal because he said the exact same boat in summer would cost £200. We got our own captain and there was a cool box as well so we could bring drinks along. So our captain said it's completely up to us where we wanted to go in the 2 hours. So I've been to Oludeniz before. I decided to stick to the left hand side of the coast. I really wanted Dylan to see Butterfly Valley, and if you've never been before, this is definitely somewhere you should see. It is absolutely stunning. It can only be accessed by boat. Had some time left, so he took us to the other side, to the right hand side of the Blue Lagoon. We went and saw St. Nicholas Island, where Santa is meant to have been born, but that's another video question for life. For the rest of his birthday, we just blacked out on the beach. We were so windswept and tired from the boat. The next day was our last day. We were flying that night, so we didn't want to go that far, so we could see kayaks on the other side of the Blue Lagoon from our hotel, so we decided to walk round. We actually ended up renting them for an hour. It was £3 each, which is incredible. You can't complain. The views from Blue Lagoon are just insane. Like, you can see Babadag Mountain where paragliders were jumping off. There were paragliders over our head. The water's crystal clear. We were on the hunt for a turtle. We didn't find one, unfortunately. But it is absolutely incredible to get out on the water. So if you're not a swimmer, I would recommend hiring a kayak or a paddleboard.
Dylan, are you joking?
Absolutely insane the views you can get from the middle of the water. After kayaking, we headed back to our hotel. We got changed and then we just sat watching the footage of our holiday, flicking through photos until it was time to go back to the airport. This moment when we were flicking through photos, Dylan was like, "What's that on your leg?" I was like, "I don't know, what is that on my leg?" We zoomed in on the photo before I looked at my leg and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." Looked down at my leg then, massive bite. So if you ever get a bite like this, make sure you're going to your GP straight away. That is an infected tick bite. So when I got back to the UK, I did go to my GP, I did have blood tests, and I actually did get Lyme disease from that, so it is something to definitely look out for. Definitely wear your mosquito repellent, wear your insect repellent, because I didn't. My fault. Anyway, we got the taxi to the airport, it was perfect, bang on time, got to the airport, and that is when carnage decided to start. Massive queues, which is normal for an airport. It was post-COVID as well, so you know, you let them off. There was another EasyJet flight that was cancelled. I think it was going to London, so that was causing carnage for us to check in as well with EasyJet. But ours seemed okay going to Manchester. We got through to the gate. Then when we got through to the gate, we got delayed. We ended up getting delayed for 17 hours, which is brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely loved sleeping on the floor. However, this is the lesson I want you to learn, because we did not know this before this happened to us. If your flight is delayed by 3 hours or more, and it is the airline's fault, so our reason was they had messed up the rota basically. It was actually another couple who were sleeping on the floor near us who told us about the form you can fill in. Honestly, easiest form you can fill in, and a month later we got £700 back into our bank account. So basically we've just gone on that holiday for free.